When installing a basket strainer in the bottom of the kitchen sink, one number one has to take the parts and separate the parts. And then when the parts are separated, this particular part here goes on top. Underneath this little flanged edge right here is where the plumber's putty would go, and then the nut on the bottom end would tighten it up. So the plumber's putty technically would go right here around that flange. The question is, so how does this tighten it up? It's almost like a two-man job. There's a tool, and I think I have one, but one can just simply take this nut here and tighten this nut up like so. But on the top end, where it becomes a two-man job, there are multiple ways to do this. If somebody has a special tool that I'm not aware of, please let me know on the top to hold it. Otherwise, if you don't, this thing tends to spin on top. So have somebody up here to hold this. Now, when doing so, my opinion is both parties may want to familiarize yourself with a set of these, and then also be careful sticking a long screwdriver down there, because the person under the sink, it could hit him or the eyes. So this is where eyeglasses come in handy. So do not forget to always use safety, in my opinion. But when tightening this nut up, just simply tighten it here. Once you get it to a certain point and somebody's holding it on the top, or, I mean, technically speaking, somebody could hold it on the bottom, but two people can't fit underneath the sink, generally speaking. So, or one can put a flathead screwdriver in this hole, or two screwdrivers I'm talking about from the top end here, or you can use a set of needle nose pliers and go down, and one can hold it steady while the other person is tightening the nut up. Now, once the nut begins to tighten up, one will notice the plumber's putty will start to push out all the way around. You'll notice that once it goes all the way around the plumber's putty, the tighter it gets. So it's simple. Just take your hand and clean the putty up, put it back in your tub. But on the bottom part, it's this big nut. Now, some of them are configured differently. This is the particular one. Now, you can take a flathead screwdriver and a hammer or something and just tap it until you get it tight. But again, be sure that this whole part is sturdy from the top, because if it's not sturdy, this whole thing is going to rotate and you're going to defeat your purpose. So my opinion is this may be a two-man job or a three-man job, but notwithstanding, it can be done. Now, they make a wrench that would go over this, and I have one somewhere. So the wrench will tighten it up and can alleviate some problems. And technically speaking, you could technically probably hold it from the bottom, but you don't want to deform your part and hold it from the bottom while you take the wrench and turn it. But if you've got a two-man, if you've got a helper with you, it never hurts to help. So all that needs to be turning is this nut, not the entire thing like this. Simply this nut. Once it tightens up to a certain degree, gets over hand tight, then at this point, just take the notch and put your flathead screwdriver in there, or your tool. Your tool should fit all the way over it and you'll be good. Or you can just take your flathead screwdriver here and tap it a few times and give it a few taps. And then once the taps, and then the plumber's putty will push out on the sink part, and this should tighten up. And just make sure that you get it good and tight so it's not leaking. And then subsequent to doing this, simply take your plumber's putty, grab it around the edge, and then your plumber's putty will still be in this area here, but it'll be on the bottom side, so it should be all the way around. And then just scrape the excess out with your hand, or if you want to use a paper towel, well, your hand is fine. That way you can roll it in a ball, put it back in the tub, put the lid on it, and keep it for later use as long as it stays somewhat malleable. So this is the way you tighten the nut up. on the bottom of the basket strainer. Thank you for watching. If you find any of these videos helpful, useful, utilitarian, etc., feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.